Yeah, I had to smoke a little bit more because it's been a hell of a day. I had to deal with security head at school um, today because she was worried about graffiti in the bathrooms and vandalism. And it's hard to explain to the security department that as custodians, if unless it's offensive or hateful, we don't really do anything about it. Like if it's just somebody doodling, or if it's somebody like complaining about schoolwork, or tests or finals, or if it's art, um, I leave it up because honestly, it makes my day more interesting, and it adds some color and life to an otherwise drab room, which is a school restroom. So honestly, I'm very laissez faire about it. Um, but security takes it seriously, and so I had to um, let her know that it's okay. She can give us her phone number, and we'll text her pictures of the hateful and offensive ones, um, for sure. And if other custodians want to send her just all the doodles and stuff that come up, that's fine. But she's going to be very busy if she has to deal. If she's going to deal with all that. Um, Better let it build up for a while and then just take care of it once a month or something, as I say. Um, but anyway, um, Switzerland. So I need to find another connection. But I was tired of going to Basel to get my weed. It's like a 45-minute trip, like an hour trip. It takes like 15 minutes to get there on the train. It takes like 10 minutes to get to the train station. Um, yeah, so it's like an hour and a half, just to go get my weed. And so I was like, you know what? It'd be a lot cooler if I could find it here in Frankendorf. And so that was um, my mission. Um, I I don't remember. I think I went to Basel and I struck out, and then on the way back, I thought of asking Frankendorf, maybe, because I remember I was on the way back from Basel, and I was just out of the train station, and there was this young guy on the way to my dad's house, at the bottom of this hill. Frankendorf is like on the side of this valley, and then Fuhlensdorf, I think, is on the other side. They're like, they're facing each other, and then the train goes through the middle. Um, anyway, Frankendorf is on this side, let's say, and at the bottom of the hill, I meet this guy, young guy, and I'm like, hey, do you know anywhere to get weed around here? And he's like, oh, yeah, totally. Just go up to the store, these guys from Sri Lanka, I think, own this convenience store. And this convenience store is great, by the way, because they're the only store that's open on Sunday because they're not Christian. It's fantastic. And so, like, this is a lifesaver on Sundays when you don't have any food. Um, anyway, he told me to go outside the Sri Lankan store, and there's young people out there, and you ask for a guy called, let's call him Andy. Okay, Andy. That's not his real name, but let's call him Andy. And go ask for Andy, and he'll sell you some. And I was like, fantastic, thank you. And so I go up the hill, go to the store, see a group of young people. I ask, they're like, oh, he's not here right now, but we can call him. And so they call him, and they're like, hey, he's on his way. He'll be here in 5 minutes. I'm like, what a country, so organized. I love it. And I met Andy a few minutes later, and he's this like I guess I have no reason to describe him. He's a young guy like myself, maybe a little bit younger, but he's a very nice guy, very polite. He sold me very excellent quality weed, a little bit industrial, but it's all right. It's, what are you gonna do? Beggars can't be choosers. And what was great about this guy is that it was really easy to get it. It's like couldn't be easier, within reason. Basically, I'd call him or I'd text him from my dad's house, and I'd be like, hey, can I get 100, 2 bags, And he's like, yeah, sure. Meet me at the church in 2 hours or something. And and at the church, that church is across the street. There's an alley that runs behind it. I'd basically just walk across the street, walk across the little plaza, down the little alley a little bit, and he'd meet me there. And he'd sell me the weed. It was great. It was fantastic. And that was my connection for the rest of my stay there. And that worked out really nicely. And anyway, fast forward to 2 years later, I go back to Switzerland. Maybe like my first, like second or third day there, I'm like, you know what? I have a connection. I don't remember his phone number. I don't have that phone still, but I'll go find him again. Hopefully he's still around. And it's nighttime, and I go across, like 2 blocks away to the Sri Lankan store, and there's a group of like 4 young people, huddled and it's like chatting, smoking in front of the store, and I'm like, excuse me, have any of you guys seen Andres? Oh shit. Damn it. Anyway, Andre was his name. Have any of you seen Andre recently? Swiss police. Just ignore this video. Anyway, have any of you guys seen Andre? And I kid you not, like, this is another one of those magical moments. One of the guys turns around, he's like, I'm Andre. And I'm like, oh, what's up, man? It's me. Don't you remember me? I'm the American guy. And he's like, oh, yeah, how you doing, man? And so I got his phone number again, and that connection was solid for my year that I was there. He's a good guy. Sometimes I wish I'd hung out with him, or I'd asked him to hang out, because I didn't have any friends in Switzerland. But my instinct was just to keep it professional. We just kept it as a business relationship, and that was fine. But he was a cool guy. It would have been interesting to get to know him. So yeah, those are this is the saga of how I got weed in Switzerland. But it doesn't really compare, I think, to how I got weed in Spain. Because in Spain happened something, I think, even more mind-blowingly. Sorry, I haven't been looking at the camera. I've been looking at the screen. Mind-blowingly coincidental. And here's how it happened. So in Spain, my grandfather's family comes from this little town called, or sort of, Caleta de las Fuentes, which is close to Valencia in the Valencian province, which is like kind of on the east coast, facing the Mediterranean. So between Madrid, which is in the center of Spain, east, that's where Valencia is. And I can't believe I just said Madrid. Anyway, I'm there visiting family. We're staying in Calete at my aunt's house. Yeah. And this was, okay, so this is what I was doing in Switzerland. My mom, by coincidence, was there. I had just been in Switzerland. This is still 2017. And I was taking a break from Switzerland to come to Spain to work the wine harvest, which is usually like around August. And I wanted to pick grapes and help do that tradition of making like 3,000 euro working the wine harvesting season in Spain, which some of my family members have done. My uncle worked actually at the Bodega Iranzo, which is named, my grandfather's Manuel Iranzo, so it's kind of a cool family connection that we have there. And so I wanted to do the wine harvest, or the grape harvest. And so I got a job there working for this little local company, which is another story, another crazy story. But basically, I didn't pick grapes. All the grape picking was done by machine. So me and this other guy called Lucas from Czech Republic, we'd walk along the grapes and pull these wires down, these like 14 gauge wires, I think, that would like hold the grapes up because they get really heavy, and so these wires would hold the grapes up. But we needed to pull the wires down so the machine could grab the grapes, I'm pretty sure. Something like that. Either we pulled the wires down before the machine passed or after for some reason. But that was our job. We just walked along, just pulled wires down. It was tough work, you know. Probably should have used gloves, but I didn't, of course. Or did I? No, I don't think I did. But I was in Spain for a few months, and so I wanted to find weed. And I remember I went. My mom and I went to Valencia for the day, and I asked her if she'd mind if I went off on my own for a bit to find it, and she didn't really like that idea, so she recommended I just do it when I come to Valencia on my own, and I was like, okay, sure thing, and so the next day I go to Valencia on my own, which is kind of an ordeal. You have to walk 10 kilometers to this other town and then take a train for 2 hours into Valencia. Which is a great journey. I love it. But it is kind of an ordeal. And so I go on a Women of Prayer. And my plan is to go. I'd done a little bit of research and I found a head shop, and I had a map of Valencia. So I was going to go to this one little plaza, to this head shop, to find a pipe, like a little glass water pipe, so that at least I would have something to smoke with if I found some. Because I figured it was better to have a pipe than no pipe, of course. And so I get off at the train station of Valencia after my 2 hour journey, and I walk down this avenue, and there's like a little park with a couple old guys sitting on a bench chatting, you know, and I'm like, I go over, I'm like, con permiso, excuse me, how would I say in Spanish, ¿Conocen dónde está esta plaza? Do you know where this plaza is? And I, you know, showed it to him on the map, and or I gave him the name of it, I guess, because I guess I didn't have the map. I just had the name of the place, and I was gonna go find a map. That was the thing. Okay, correcting myself. But they didn't know where it was, and then and I was like, okay, thank you. And I'm kind of just standing around for a bit, like thinking what my next move is gonna be, or who else to ask. And they say bye to each other, the two old guys, and one of them walks away, and the other guy, who happens to be of African descent, probably in his like late 70s or something, he's like, hey, ¿quieres chocolate? Do you want some chocolate? And I'm like, the way he said it made me think that it wasn't regular chocolate, and so I was like, chocolate? ¿Qué es eso? And he's like, hashish. And I'm like, yes, absolutely, I want some of that. And he's like, okay, come with me. Ven conmigo. And Valencia is a very old city. It's very urbanized, and it's very like European. So it's got lots of narrow alleys and streets. And so it leads me basically on this like labyrinthine journey through all these like back alleys, like 4 or 5 blocks away, to this random graffiti covered alley, very clean, but you know, graffiti covered, and there's a lock gate with a chain and a padlock, and he unlocks it, and he's like, oh, by the way, I'm gonna lock us in, but it's for our safety. And I was like, okay, but just so you know, like, I may not look it, but I know how to fight. I think I put up my fist like this, you know, like playing. And, because he's like this short guy. Short, like skinny guy. Like, if I could take anybody, it would be him. Short, skinny, old guy. You know, there's a chance. Even you know, tender younger Pat. and he kind of like smiles a bit. He's like, yeah, don't worry, don't worry. And he like locks it behind us, and it leads me into this like little kind of shabby apartment thing. And there's a couch, and he's like, sit down for a second, I'll go get it. And I was like, okay. And I sit down on this couch, which is a pretty nice couch, by the way. It's like leather, maybe stolen or something. I don't know. Like, no, not that I'm judging. It's just from the surroundings. It was a very nice couch for being in that location. Maybe he bought it from his business earnings. I don't know. He has me sit down on this couch, and I'm just chilling, trying not to worry, about the situation I put myself into. And he comes back out with a couple like these long wrap packages. Kind of look like large candies, but they were square. These long square pieces of hash, and they're dark brown, like almost black. And he unwraps one of them, and he has me smell it. And he's like, "This is king hash from Morocco." And that was very interesting to me because 3 nights before that, I had a dream, a very vivid dream of where I had escaped Europe because there was a war going on, and I had escaped Europe and I'd fled south down Spain and across to Morocco, and I was trying to figure out where to go from there. But in my dream, I found Moroccan hash. And then 3 days later, I find it. So that I thought that was very interesting, very, very, very peculiar. And he's like, "It's very, very high quality." And then I ask him how much, and he tells me they're like 10 euro each or something, like 8 grams of hash for 10 euro. It was like some ridiculous price. They might have been like 20 euro for each or something. It might have been like, I don't know, €5 a gram maximum, but I doubt it. Anyway, the price was so low, and I had 100 francs. I had 100 euro on me, and I was like, you know what? I really appreciate that you're helping me find this stuff, and your prices are very, very good compared to what I'm used to at home. So I'm just gonna give you 100 euro for both of these, if that's okay. And he's like, yeah, of course, of course, thank you. And looking back, I'm not sure if I was in any danger, real danger. But if I was in any danger, I think it's possible that offering him that might have saved my life. Because I felt like I saw like something in him change, like his demeanor changed, like I don't know. Maybe I'm just imagining it, but maybe that just random gesture of natural goodwill that just came up, that just, natural inspiration. Maybe it did more good than I knew at the time. That's just what my intuition says. Now, looking back on it. And so he sells me his stuff, and he lets me out of the cage, and I go to the plaza, and I get the pipe, and I head home, and I think I smoked it on some metal screens or something, until I found some real weed later. But it was very, very heady. Like, it was very intense hash. It was not very good for productivity. But it was very good for relaxing after a long day of pulling wires off grapevines. So it was nice. It was very good hash overall. Just very, very heavy. What was interesting about this story, though, is what happens next. That I worked for a few weeks with Lucas, and then another guy who had been driving the tractor during the grape harvest joins us to help us, and I forget his name, which is probably a good thing because I'd probably tell you and then tip off the cops in another country. God, I feel terrible. He's chatting with us, and apparently he's the town weed dealer. Like, he's just known around town as, they call him, like, his name, The Joint. like because he's just smoking all the time and he sells it and everybody knows it. And he was telling us that he was going to go into Valencia tonight after work. He was going to drive there on his motorcycle and pick up some more weed. He was going to restock. And he asked us if we wanted any. And I remember telling him, yeah, I'm interested in some, like, you just, because I just wanted some stuff to put the hash on top of. Even because he said it wasn't very strong. So I was like, yeah, that'd be great. Just something, I don't have to waste the hash as much. And I tell him the story of when I found it in Valencia, and he's like, "Oh, what was the guy's name that you got it from?" And I remember, and I'll tell you because I don't think it matters. His name was Kareem. And he's like, and my buddy, my coworker, 2 hours away from Valencia, tells me, that's the guy I'm seeing tonight to get my stuff. And to me, that was like, huge. I could not believe the chances of that happening. Valencia is a very big city. It's a few million people, I'm pretty sure. The chances are astronomically high of that happening. Granted, they are a lot less high. Considering the circles we work in, there's probably not that many people who sell weed or hash in Valencia compared to the general population. But it was a very magical moment, and I'm very appreciative that I was given the opportunity to experience that. Yeah.